The complex and compelling tale of O.J. Simpson begins in the late 1960s. Following a hugely successful college football career, he enjoyed 10 years in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills and San Francisco 49ers. By the time he retired, he had become a household name.
O.J. Simpson, as you've never seen him before.
A broadcasting career was coupled with a move into acting, including in the hugely popular Naked Gun series. But in 1994, it all unraveled. His ex-wife and a male friend were found stabbed to death at her home in Los Angeles. Simpson was named as a person of interest, but after failing to turn himself in, he was involved in a police chase broadcast live on TV before being acquitted in what was called the trial of the century. Despite his acquittal, his career was over. Gone were the days of Hollywood movies and appearances on Saturday Night Live. And in 2007, he was arrested again. This time, he was found guilty of armed robbery in Las Vegas. He claims he was trying to get back memorabilia belonging to him. He was sentenced to 33 years in prison, with a minimum time of 9 years behind bars. And that brings us to today. Simpson has been described as a model inmate with no previous criminal record, who's now set to be released later this year. And it just might be that another chapter in this remarkable story is yet to be written.
And Francis Reid joins me live from Los Angeles. Now, Francis, what can we expect later today?
Well, we're expecting that he will go before the parole board, and legal experts seem to agree that he has a very, very good chance of walking free. They'll take a lot of things into consideration: his chance of reoffending, also his age. He's now 70 years old. He's not perhaps the young, handsome man that people remembered on television from 20, 30 years ago. So all of this will be taken into consideration. As we heard there, he's been considered a model inmate. That will go in his favour. And if it does go in his favour, he could walk out of jail as early as October.
Well, his more notorious court case was known as the trial of the century. Will that case from 2 decades ago have any bearing on today?
No, absolutely not. As you said, the trial of the century, in which he was accused and found not guilty of the murders of his ex-wife and also her friend. He was found not guilty of that. Of course, he was then ordered to pay millions of dollars when their families brought a civil case. But either way, that case will absolutely not be considered today. Some of the families, obviously Ron Goldman's family, have come out today, in fact, as early as today, saying that they think that's preposterous. It should be taken into account, but in the eyes of the law, as far as they're concerned, only this case and this case for armed robbery will be considered.
Well, it's been 20 years since that case, and he's been in prison for 9 years. Why is there still so much intrigue around O.J. Simpson?
It may have been 2 decades ago, but you have to remember, it was absolutely huge. Millions of Americans watched that on TV. Everyone remembers where they were, what they were doing when that O.J. Simpson verdict came back 2 decades ago. It's now part of American popular history and popular culture. It's a part of America. And I think because of that, I think everyone loves a fallen celebrity, don't they? He's definitely that, and so that intrigue remains.
And would you still say that people are still divided about him?
Yeah, absolutely a divisive figure. There are those who feel that he got away with murder even though he was found innocent. There's been a lot of talk of that and how perhaps any jail sentence would be calmer for any kind of general violent tendencies. There are, of course, others who completely disagree with that. He had a lot of support at the time, although some would argue that that momentum of support has perhaps waned over the last couple of decades. But there are many who also say that 9 years is plenty to serve in jail for an armed robbery. So, yeah, he will continue to be that divisive figure.
And, of course, if he gets released, is he likely to shun the spotlight?
It seems very unlikely. It's possible, but unlikely. He certainly didn't do the last time, and he's not a character, certainly in the past, before he went to jail, to shun the spotlight. This time, he's older. The question is, is he wiser? And he will set out for himself what he plans to do next. At that parole hearing, he's going to have to say to the parole board what he plans to do, where he plans to go, where he plans to live. Some have questioned, will he come back here to LA, where he will be able to pursue various opportunities? That's just one of the possibilities that we might hear about today. Either way, the public appetite for O.J. Simpson hasn't gone away, and it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon.
OK, Francis, thank you very much.